February 2020, Melly was involved in a multi-inmate fight inside the day room of his area unit and was given a DR for his role in the fight. October 2020, placed on a room restriction for refusing to go back to his cell as he was trying to hide while on the phone.
And developing now, there's a new push to get rapper YNW Melly out of jail. He's currently awaiting retrial for two childhood friends, but a new lawsuit alleges he's being held in inhumane conditions.
With the Melly trial delayed until 2027, his lawyers used it as leverage to get him released from jail. The News just wrote, Florida rapper YNW Melly's lawyers secured a hearing to have Melly released from jail. His lawyers believe they have enough evidence to get him out until his trial in 2027. As his mother would give an update outside the courtroom.
We just still praying. I know I said I would give, I'll keep everybody updated with what's happening. I know right now we're waiting. So basically the judge is going to do, I guess, a written order. So we're just waiting, and that order can come any minute, or it could come tomorrow. I don't know. So we're just waiting. We're just waiting. So everybody just keep praying, keep having faith. Oh, Tessa, stop. I've been crying too. It's been a long time coming, you know.
However, there's one problem for when the News wrote, Melly's Double M retrial has been postponed once again. During a hearing on Friday, August 8th, the 4th District Court of Appeals granted a stay in the case, allowing time to consider a motion by the state attorney's office. The stay means the trial will not begin in September and has now been pushed back to January of 2027. Everyone assumed Bortlen's trial would also be delayed since they allegedly committed the crime together. The Florida court just announced Judge Martin Feen denied the joint state and defense request to delay Bortlen's trial, ruling it will proceed on September 10th, 2025, despite objections tied to Melly's pending appeal, where they will force Bortlen to snitch on Melly. The News wrote, a no communication order has been filed in the Melly trial. The order makes Melly and Bortlen completely separate. No talking, no lawyer talk, just silence, as the prosecutors are forcing Bortlen to snitch by having Melly and him tried together in the next trial.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
As with evidence being brought in front of the jury, Bortlen will be able to confirm evidence against Melly. As the judge announced, Melly will be with Bortlen for the next trial.
Mr. Henry is going to remain set for trial September the 10th at 9 o'clock with Mr. Devins, pending whatever future motion that I'm going to hear. I'm in another capital case right now. I have 4 hearing dates left available between now and September the 10th. I gave the parties those 4 dates, and I'm holding all of those dates and times open only for these 2 defendants. So anything that you need me for, okay? Yes, sir.
As the News reported, at the beginning of Wednesday's hearing, Judge Martin said to Bortlen's attorney, so Mr. Haddad, for the time being, Bortlen is going to remain set for trial on September 10th with Melly, confirming they will be tried together at the later trial. Assuming Bortlen knows he didn't commit this crime, he won't be willing to take the fall and be sentenced to life in prison for the crime, which is why he will likely point the finger at Melly when the time comes, which is exactly what Melly's plan was in the first trial, to pin the crime against Bortlen.
Those were his lives. Courtroom Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with 2 bodies, a car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Courtroom Henry.
As his lawyer revealed, Bortlen was the one that lied to the feds. He's the one with powder on his hands. And he's the one who was with Juvie and Sack Chaser when they passed, as they brought a forensic scientist to cover what the firearm powder on Bortlen's hands means.
So the right hand of Courtroom Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of heart residue and 2 two-component particles, and the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of heart residue and 1 two-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was heart residue present on the hands.
Bortlen hated this happening in court, so when Melly's first trial ended, news reported, Bortlen tweets a mysterious message on the same day Melly's mistrial was declared. The tweet shares, "Mind games don't work on people like me," with a handshake emoji, as if he's accepting a plea deal. But even more concerning is that Bortlen has every reason to snitch on Melly, because of what was found in his home.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortlen was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Courtroom Henry, aka Bortlen, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortlen allegedly tampered with the witness.
As reporters noted, here are the images of notes discovered during the home raid of Bortlen's home that were filed into the Broward clerks, as it's photos of drawings that have where jurors sat in the courtroom with a description of what they look like, which makes it look like Bortlen was willing to either tamper or do something to the jurors if the trial wasn't in Melly's favor.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortlen, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on! It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro! Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
But it gets really concerning when you realize that Bortlen might be a star witness in the case against Melly, as he was the only other person who was there when it happened. Bortlen knows the entire story, and if Melly tries to do anything that Bortlen doesn't like, he can flip, as one of the new pieces of evidence tries to link Melly to the Red Street team. Because this post of Melly with Young Thug makes prosecutors believe Melly's in the same team as Young Thug.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL, he's hanging with him. And he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with Mr. Demons has big B hand signs displayed.
Okay, and see with individuals again, I'm assuming that's also Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and capture.
But surprisingly, Melly told his lawyers to allow them to use it because Bortlen could validate the claim anyway. As the news wrote, today's hearing marks the first time Melly publicly went against his legal team's advice in open court. As Melly got angry with his lawyers,
yes, sir. Against our advice, our client wants to proceed.
You objected to their request for me to determine this automatic stay.
Based upon what our client has instructed us, yes, sir.
people in the court heard that Melly was saying, "I don't care. I'm not in no gang. They can't prove that."
I'm aware that 924-071 call for an automatic stay while
they were aggravators. They go to membership in a gang. There are things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravator, that's the death penalty. Aggravator, that's the enhancement itself, Your Honor. That was charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the further conviction, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilt.
something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
Although new evidence that wasn't allowed in the first trial is being entered into the case, as they want to include a former O-Block member's testimony that Melly asked King Von for advice on how to deal with people.
Did Von really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Von was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? What the bam? I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that it's two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
They have 2 years to make this evidence usable, and if they do, he will be done, as it looks like Melly asked for advice from someone who was very familiar with taking people out. But what's even worse is that Melly has a second case ongoing, as it also has charges of life in prison on the line. Because there was one witness for the prosecution that was missing in the first trial, which was Melly's ex-girlfriend, Mariah Hamilton, because she left the United States before Melly's first trial and only just came back to the country, where she was then arrested.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
The judge made a deal with Mariah for her release, which is that she must be present for the Melly trial. Right after she was released, she wrote on Facebook, "Thank you to my village. I love y'all so much. God's plan, not mine." As they found evidence in Mariah's iCloud account, which suggests Melly forced her to not testify in trial and is classified as witness tampering, as this charge carries a life sentence in prison, even if he's found innocent of juvie and sack chasers passing.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
But due to Melly constantly trying to witness tamper on the jail phones, he's had his phone and mail privileges taken away, which really angered Melly's mother, and she spoke on it in an interview.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
The only reason the jail would take his privileges away is if they already had evidence against Melly, because if they didn't, then that'd create many legal issues that Melly's team could sue for. As Melly's mom continues to say, she feels heartbroken for her son and says he isn't being treated like a human in jail.
When you saw Melly's statement, just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
But we heard from Charleston White saying he's happy Melly's being treated like that, and he doesn't deserve any special treatment.
Even the YNW Melly, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a motherfucking thing. About being mistreated when you done chose to play somebody.
But Boosie had a different stance as he spoke on the stress Jamie King's been going through.
Okay, so
then I met his mama while he was in.
Oh, okay.
I met his mom while he was in, and she real, bro. You know, she real.
She's stressed out. I heard she had a.
Yeah, she real, and I reached my hand out to him. Cause I'm real. Yeah, I reached out to him, bro. I met his mom, and she a good woman, bro. And when I see them mamas like that, it remind me of what my mom was going through, bro.
But Melly had a huge win inside court that gives him a chance at release. As an FBI agent took the stand with the report stating, Melly's lawyer questions the FBI agent who analyzed Melly's phone at the time of the crime.
Based on the information, you can't really tell the court precisely which locations these phones are following in, can you?
One of the limitations of cellular analysis is that you can only say a general area where the device would be at a given time.
All right. So even with the general analysis, all of the steps that we've gone through for about 4 or 5 hours, at the end of the day, you can never give an exact location.
True.
And could you tell if somebody was walking around a car with the phone? Would you be able to tell that?
No.
So it'd be your testimony that this phone, 9807, could be from here to here, correct?
Yes.
While he shared important information, it wasn't until the next topic of conversation that things got interesting. A DNA specialist then took the stand. His job was going over DNA research on items that were found at the scene of the crime, including items that were inside the Jeep when the crime happened. This may have been Melly's biggest win so far, as the report states, DNA analyst confirms Melly's DNA was not found on multiple items that were recovered at the crime scene.
So going to item number 22. The swab from the Gucci sandals. We're able to compare the profile from Mr. Demons as opposed to the profile developed from those sandals.
I did, and he was excluded.
The stain on the front of the t-shirt, item number 23. We're able to compare Mr. Demons' profile to that.
I did a comparison, and he was again excluded.
What about item number 24, the cutting on the stain of the rear of the t-shirt?
After comparisons were done, he was excluded.
Okay, then on item number 25, the swab of stain from the Air Jordans.
Again, an exclusion.
Going on to item number 26, the swab from the yellow jacket.
An exclusion as well.
And in terms of the item number 27 and 28, the swabs at the Gatorade bottles. What were the results on that?
Those were both exclusions.
However, Melly's DNA was found on the car handle, which is obvious as we watched him get into the car.
Excuse me, you're able to see? Yes? All right.
With Melly seen getting in the car and his DNA, there was then questions about rapper Fredo Bang's involvement, as the feds claimed they have proof Melly was picked up by Fredo when the crime went down, then dropped off at a nearby house.
And Chris Thomas are... So what you're also going to find out is while Mr. Demons is out there on the side of the road, 4 in the morning, 4:42 specifically, he sends a drop pin, digital homing beacon, to his current location, to one of his friends, Frederick Givens. Frederick Givens is also involved in the music industry, and he asked to be picked up. Frederick Givens, then about 11 minutes later, is sent another drop pin, where Mr. Demons has moved a couple of meters. What you're going to find out as well, though, is these digital leashes, they have more than just phone calls.
Having Bortlen on their side will answer an important question, which is the context of what happened 5 hours after the crime. It was announced that the prosecutors updated the evidence against Melly. He didn't know he was filmed admitting to the passing of Sack Chaser and Juvie. This will end badly. Where only 5 hours after the crime was done, Melly was filmed dancing in a parking lot with Bortlen.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned. Regardless of what happened, you already know.
They showed no sadness for the passing of their best friends, but Melly was filmed again, without his knowledge, as security footage caught him entering the Jeep where the crime went down, waiting for Juvie and Sack Chaser to get in. The official court documents read, the direction of the bullets, traveling from left to right in the car, supports the claim that they originated from the back left seat where Melly was positioned. Even Juvie's mother confirmed he was there.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
I'm Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the victims in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right-hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
On top of this, the prosecutors submitted paperwork to use Bortlen's interrogation on the night of the crime, where he was lying to the police to cover up for Melly.
Okay, tell me what happened.
Man, I was playing music. Getting off the exit. I was already getting sleepy. Almost home. You know what I'm saying? And like, just out of nowhere, like, I just heard You know what I'm saying? So, and I ducked down, you know what I'm saying, in the car. And I almost crashed the car.
Let me back you up a few minutes. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from the studio, from Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale studio. Which way did you take?
I took I-75, 595 to
75.
Expressway. Yeah.
Then you took 75 south?
It's clear to the officers that his story isn't making any sense. Bortlen tried to stay confident, but was caught in his lie.
Here's the hard part where we're having a hard time to understand, is that we shut down that entire area and we had officers shoulder to shoulder walk it out. They didn't find as much as one shell casing. They didn't find one piece of glass. Nothing. Nothing to what you said adds up. And it's hard.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that's like...
I mean, for whatever reason, your two friends, are these your good friends?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These my... Like,
these your two, I'm assuming, close friends.
Yeah, we got...
And you're doing them an inservice by not telling us the truth.
I'm telling you the truth, sir. I don't, like, how... What do you want...
How do you make shell casings disappear?
I don't know. How can I tell you about a shell case?
With Bortlen realizing it's not working, he begins getting angry and tries shutting down the conversation.
I told y'all the story, and that's it, bro. I don't even want to talk about it no more. Like, cause I told y'all. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Okay, just so you know, all right, because you're saying, well, I don't want to talk anymore. There's going to be a lot more questions. There's, you know, and we're not trying to piss you off. The thing is, we don't know your friends.
Yeah.
So the reason we have to ask all these questions, because the more we know about your friends, your lifestyle, your friend's lifestyle, your friends, his friends, and the circumstances surrounding today, the more, you know, the easier it's going to be for us to try and solve this.
When the criminal in the interrogation hits this point of the interrogation, refusing to talk and not wanting to discuss more, it's the officer's job to reset the playing field. The goal is to continue asking questions, hoping that the criminal will mix up his story and share different details than what he originally said or accidentally say too much. So the officer switches the conversation by asking different details about the night. Like, how was Bortlen driving? Did he crash into anything? And more.
And I'm driving, ducking for my life, trying to make sure I don't get hit. And you telling me, you telling me about some shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. I'm driving. I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna be worried about? You know what I'm saying?
I know it's not for you to worry about.
Shit crazy, bro.
But if you tell me it happened there's got to be some evidence there. There's going to be broken glass, just like there's broken glass over here from when you guys open the doors and stuff like that. Okay, there's going to be broken glass over there when the windows got out. There's going to be casings from the people at your car. Okay, there's going to be evidence over there. Okay, right now there's nothing. I kind of think I know what happened because I got information.
With time running out and their allowed interrogation time, the officer would flat out ask, if you know who did this, would you tell me?
By just telling me the truth, even if it's something that I don't want to hear, but I respect the truth rather than BS. Okay, and it's a simple question. If you knew who did this, okay, you may or may not know. If you knew who did this, would you tell me? It's either a yes or no question. Answer.
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly. The truth. You wouldn't?
Because I wouldn't want to be a part of that. I wouldn't want to be.
Where Bortlen doesn't give a firm yes or no answering using his voice. Instead, he shakes his head no, because he'd obviously know if it was Melly who did it or not, and didn't want the officer to realize he was lying about it, as detectives are great at reading body language and can know when you're lying. But like the video if you're a Melly fan and comment if you think he's guilty or not.